Wait, I would follow you if I had Instagram or Facebook.
Oh.
One day,
I wish you
child.
followed. I wish you said, I'd follow you if I enjoyed your podcast.
Yeah, do an edit. Here, go ahead.
All right, edit. I would follow you guys on Instagram and Facebook if I liked you guys.
Oh.
That hurt. That hurt.
Oh,
Attaboy.
What a burn!
I feel it. Somebody get me some burn cream over here.
Ow!
Hello, you beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Frequels. I'm EJ Leeson, and with me always, my co-host, who thinks Aunt Maggie's a real bitch, Rory Kalarasi.
She definitely got what she deserved.
She definitely got
You
what
know?
she deserved.
She was like the least personable pink lady.
Yeah,
She's in Greece. Did you know that?
she was, right? She was Cherry, Cherry.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Marty?
Maraschino?
Yeah.
Maraschino.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cherry Maraschino.
So, yeah, as far as pink
Yeah.
ladies go, you could stand to lose her.
Yeah,
She's not like a Rizzo where she's just sort of running the ship.
right. No, she just gets
She's a
hit by a
lackey.
car. Yeah.
She's like a Frankie the Rat.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joey the Rat from Boy Meets World?
Oh, Joey the Rat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And then
Who
Frankie
definitely
Sakino.
took it from Dustin Hoffman. All right.
Oh.
Anyways. And
Hey, he's acting here.
today we're missing someone. He's not here because we think he succumbed to lycanthropy. Dear old young Vince.
Vince has pink eye.
Oh, that's what it is.
No. Yeah, Vince won't be joining us for this session.
I know. It's a sad day.
Wah,
But-
wah, wah, wah.
It's okay.
The fan letters demanded it.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just needs to keep that pink eye away from us.
Yeah.
He's gross.
Daycare is not the most cleansly place,
Yeah.
you know?
And he shouldn't be hanging out at daycares anyways. So. Also, we have a returning favorite, the coolest kid and horror expert,
Oh, you already announced me.
Mr. Leo Purdy.
Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Leo is back, America.
He's back.
Yeah,
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
You excited?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, it's a movie I really love. But anyway, go on to our next guest.
All right. With that being said, yeah,
Very
let's get
modest.
into-
Thank you.
Also, we have back for the fourth time one of the coolest guys I know, and also a horror fanatic, Mr. Shane Purdy. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. What's up with you guys?
Nothing. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, hanging out,
yeah,
having a
keeping it
good
real.
time. Yeah, dude.
Being
What are you guys
yourself.
up to?
No, nothing much. How about yourself?
Nothing.
I know you're a huge Star Wars fan.
Yes,
as
sir.
well as Rory.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of us,
Yep.
really. So how did you take the passing of James Earl Jones?
Dude, that sucked. Yeah, R.I.P. He's the
did
greatest.
suck.
We just watched Lion King in the theaters, like, what was that, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, dude, and it even hits harder as Mufasa, because that's
I know.
awesome. And yeah, dude, R.I.P. It sucks. Never got a chance to really meet him. You
Yeah.
guys?
No.
We
Yeah,
have an
no.
autograph, but we never
Yeah.
actually met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I'm gonna cry.
I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie to you. My brain won't accept it.
Yeah.
Like I want to have like a reaction to it, but I'm like, he's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
broke
look
you.
through my old phone books of Bell Atlantic, and I'm like, Bell Atlantic.
No, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I'm just kind of like, people are like, oh, how do you feel about James Earl Jones dying? And I'm like, he's not dead.
He can't be.
He's
Yeah.
fine.
He's a
Back
legend.
from the dead.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, what a great career that guy had.
Yeah. I to quote The Sandlot, right? Like legends live forever.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
I had a tear just now from that, EJ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now it hits.
Yeah,
Legend.
it just all came back. Oh my god.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Sci-fi's never gonna be the same.
So what are some new
Seems like
movies?
it seems like he outlived Star Wars though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Dude. He did.
Yeah, the popularity of Star Wars is
Dead.
really. You think it's
It's
dead?
not quite dead. It's just on
Yeah.
life support.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs life support.
It's
Yeah.
definitely dying.
Yeah. But you know,
After
that
the
original
Acolyte.
trilogy is
So good.
important to all of us. It's
Yep.
the reason we all became Star Wars fans, and he
Yeah.
is like almost like the centerpiece of the whole thing.
Yeah.
know?
He's like
Oh,
the heart
absolutely.
of, or well, no, not the heart. He's like the lungs of it.
Well, now it's nice because Disney got him to sign away, and now they could use his voice for AI forever.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, so that's.
no one's ever really
I
gone.
guess. I guess that's good.
That was so good.
I guess that's
Um,
good.
no one's ever really gone as long as there's AI.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's weird. I was at the gym when I saw the news pop up, and CNN. What are you thinking? The clip they showed was from the Obi-Wan show. Like,
Ah.
James Earl Jones passes away, and it's like a
Yeah.
clip from Obi-Wan. I'm like, that's like when they were doing the AI version of his voice.
Yeah.
right.
Show
Yeah.
like one of those great scenes from Empire.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Join
Conan the
me,
Barbarian.
And I will complete your training. Give me that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not this AI stuff.
Yeah.
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 It's funny. Before we started recording, you turned off the fan, and that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, because when I was younger, I used to go up to the fan and try to do my best, like James Earl Jones.
You Chris Farley it from Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
His heart is empty.
Luke, I am your father.
I will be your father.
But,
So, just to put this out there real quick, so far we said that Vince won't be joining us today, and James Earl Jones passed away. So we are starting off on a high note, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is our way to
Party.
start a new prequel.
On a movie that's really good, let's start off on
Yes.
a high note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. What are some new movies you guys got to see this week, or any lately that really stood out?
Hit me, Leo.
Well, I mean, really the only new movie I watched was the new Beetlejuice movie, and it was funny. It was dumb, but it was funny.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. How
You
about
seem
you,
skeptical.
Shane? Did you like it?
Oh, I liked it. Yeah, I had fun with
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I liked
I,
it. It was
me too.
just-
It was one of those movies I just kind of hoped would always be made, and then kind of also didn't want it to be made. And
Exactly.
so when they announced it, I'm like,
'Cause
oh, it's
they
gonna
ruin
suck.
it.
And then it didn't really suck. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought it could have definitely been so much worse. It was fun. And
It
then
could have
what
been
else?
Hocus Pocus 2.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking, dude. Hocus Pocus too.
Yeah.
But what else? A couple weeks ago, we've seen the Alien Romulus.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Oh
that.
yeah.
So
Did you like it?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Did
Yeah.
you get around
Yeah.
to seeing that,
I
EJ?
never saw it.
Ah.
No.
Yeah,
It
no.
was
Alright.
very.
I will.
fun.
I'll check it out eventually.
I'm curious
Good
as to
on
how
those.
you feel about it.
I feel like I saw the trailer and I think it gave away a lot. And I remember hanging out with Chris, a friend of the show, and I was like, "Is this how it plays out?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I went,
Oh.
So I pretty much saw the movie. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like sometimes when we go to the movies, I look over at Becca and she's just playing like Pokemon Go. I'm
Yeah.
like, why aren't you watching the trailers? And she's just like, I don't like watching trailers because it just kind of ruins too much.
Yeah.
I think I finally agree with her on that.
I think so too.
'Cause,
Certain
Yeah.
trailers give way
Yeah.
too much out. Like I feel like Beetlejuice did a good job at just being like, here's a lot of craziness, and not really give away like a story.
Dun, dun,
You know what I
dun,
mean?
dun.
I don't want to give out spoilers, but the Astrid storyline, I had no idea anything
Sure.
about that. So I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
So
good.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
And it was funny.
Beetlejuice, Deadpool, Wolverine we saw recently.
Yeah, that was. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
You loved it? Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it so much, and for some reason, should I bring it up?
Why not?
My mother hates it.
Yeah. no,
What?
she doesn't
What?
hate it, but she likes the.
It's like we haven't talked since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. She likes like the Deadpool 1 and 2, like the love story and like the, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. But we just like seeing like Deadpool Wolverine fighting in a car. So like that's why we have You know what I mean?
I get where she's coming from with it
Yeah.
because the first two feel more like straightforward narratives. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like Deadpool stood on and like could carry his own movie.
Yeah.
And then like the third one is just fun.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool
absolutely.
Wolverine is just like a fun movie, but it
Yes,
does feel a little
yeah.
severed from the other two.
It has flaws, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's
in
a
my
lot of fun.
opinion. Yeah.
No alcohol required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little Jeremy Johns reference.
Yeah, man. We all love
Yeah.
Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah, we do.
How about you? You see anything good?
I saw Blink twice and
Twice?
I loved
I
it.
heard that.
Yeah, I know. I only saw it once
Oh.
and I loved it. And it was like one of those movies I came out of and I was like, I hope a lot of people see this, but it seems like not a lot of people
Nah.
have seen it. But it's a really, really, really good movie. And Zoe Kravitz directed it and partially wrote it. So
Oh, really?
yeah, and I think she's up and coming. Like
Yeah?
I think she really has a good future in front of her.
I like
And-
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that just show up in it. I don't want to say
Yeah.
Yeah.
who, because I saw the trailer, but I didn't really like pay attention to the trailer because I was playing Pokemon Go. No, I'm just kidding. But
Really addicting, dude.
yeah,
It is
it's kind of addicting. No, but I wasn't watching the trailer
Who's your
as
buddy?
well, and then I remember like going to see this, and all these famous people are in it,
Yeah.
kind of briefly, and I'm like, oh my god, I had no idea all these people were in it.
Yep.
Like Gina Davis is in it, so it's pretty awesome.
You spoiled the whole movie.
I know. No, but Blink
You
Twice is
ruined
like,
it.
if you get a chance to watch it,
It's
especially in theaters, I think it's really cool.
What's
Yeah.
what's it about? What is the what kind of
I-
movie even is it? I've heard of it. I just don't know anything.
I feel like the less you know going into it,
so just blind, yeah.
yeah, like the
Just
better
don't blink
experience
twice
you have.
at all, dude. Just eyes on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a quiet place, but instead with eyes.
Yeah, dude. Pry your eyes open, man.
Yeah.
That's
Like
how they do
Clockwork
it.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't get that joke because I never watched Clockwork Orange, but
How old are
it's
you?
funny.
11, right?
Yeah,
There you go again, EJ.
Sorry.
How old are you?
How old are you?
Now, I mean, last podcast I was 11, but now I'm 12.
Oh, so
Oh,
12.
wow.
Perfect age to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect age.
That's the reason I'm the way I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't watch it, Leo.
Don't watch
Have a
it.
future.
We'll just wait a little bit, and then you'll appreciate it the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Clockwork Orange actually is one of my favorite movies ever.
Okay.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
I
Do
heard
you like
it
The
was-
Shining? Did you see The Shining?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I watched The Shining. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same director, so I feel like
Okay.
once you go down that rabbit hole, you're gonna really
Yeah.
like him as a director. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kubrick's one of
Cool.
the best.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the best. But let's
you
talk
gonna do
about
that one day?
another. We did The Shining already, but
Are you gonna skip past what I watched? You are.
what? No.
He's just,
Wow,
he's
dude.
just sneaking past.
He did it again.
I was just gonna
He
say.
did it again.
No.
Leo,
What did you see?
Leo's a fan of the show, so he catches this.
No,
I'm
what
only
did
gonna
you
bring
see?
up. I'm gonna bring up one movie.
Okay.
It's called Strange Darling.
Oh yes.
So, if you didn't see this movie, it's a shame. It wasn't in the theater long around here. I went like the last showing. It was weird. It was in for a week, and they had a bunch of showings. And then I wanted to see it. They're like, see it at 10:55 or never. And I'm talking PM, folks. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna bite the bullet. And I'm just gonna go to the theater and watch this. And it is remarkable. One of the things I will say about the movie is that the less you know about it, the better. It is a movie that keeps you on your toes, and thank God even the subject matter kind of challenges you a little bit. But the filmmaking is fantastic, and it is.
Who's
What's
in
up?
it?
So, Kyle Gallner.
Oh yeah, I love him.
So, like, I don't know what his deal is lately, but he's just picking really,
Horror
like,
movies.
fantastic roles.
Yeah. He really is.
Actually, I feel like he's always been pretty good with what he's picked.
Yeah.
But,
He
like,
was in
lately he's
Scream
having a bit of a
6 or no,
thing.
Scream 5, and then he was
Well,
in
that wasn't one of his better choices, but that's fine.
Smile, the first
Smile, yeah, he's in Smile.
and then he was in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right,
Also-
so maybe not all of his choices.
Wait,
were
but he was also in Jennifer's Body.
yes, he was.
He's
He's in
great
a
in that,
lot
too.
of stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
I know, like
Smallville.
he's great in the movie, and so he's reason enough to see it. I kept like messing her name up. It's Willa Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah, the singer. I remember her.
So
Yeah.
she's in this movie, and she is like, she's something.
She's
Again, less said the better, but she's like, it's one of those like, in a more fair universe, they would be talking about her for like Oscar consideration. It's like that awesome of a performance.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not gonna say too much about it, but if it is playing somewhere in the world, go see it.
She's the same actress that was in the remake for Friday the 13th.
Oh, you're thinking of Willa Ford? Is that her name?
Oh, is that Willa Ford?
Is that her name?
Oh, maybe.
I know
it
who you're
is.
talking about.
Okay.
No, she's in. Did you watch The Fall of the House of Usher, the Mike Flanagan Netflix?
No.
She's in that.
Okay. All right, so I'm messing
You know when
up
you said
Willa
that she was a
Ford
singer, I was just kind of like, don't lean into it, Rory, because he might be right. Just like she might have had some other career
No,
before.
I was like,
look,
wait.
ooh, she could sing too. What a powerhouse.
I was messing her up with I Want to Be Bad.
Yeah,
that's
that's her
Willa
name, right?
Ford.
Willa Ford?
Okay.
I
Willa
believe, because she's in the Friday the 13th remake. She gets the machete and her head
Right.
through the dock.
Ford. Through the dock, yeah.
Is that her name, Willa Ford? Let's
Yeah.
double check. Let's take some bets.
How many Willas are out there? Jeez.
Friday,
I think like Willa Smith, but I'm like, I don't think that's right.
That's Willow.
Willa Smith.
There's Willow.
Willa Ford.
Willa Ford.
Yeah.
Okay.
Willa.
Yeah.
Willa Washington. Okay. Let's talk about another great director. This is the third time we're covering a movie of his, right? I feel like, well, technically he didn't direct it, but we
Yeah,
did
but he
write
had his
Psycho
hands
2.
in it, yeah.
And then, of course, we talked about Fright Night. And now we're going to talk about one of his biggest hits, Child's Play. The very first Child's Play, the original Child's Play.
Yeah.
And this was a pick by Leo.
Yep.
What was the about this movie that made you want to pick this?
Just everything. The nostalgia, the story writing, the ending, how
The ending is awesome.
Yeah, the ending is really awesome. I like the villain in this movie, one of my favorite villains ever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I liked some of the killing in this movie. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say.
I like some of the killing in this movie.
I mean, I do.
Yeah. I mean,
It's always fun to hear those words come out of a child's mouth.
That's my,
He looked right at me too.
I know.
Like, is that too far?
Coming after you, Dad.
I mean, it's not every day you see someone die from electric shock therapy.
No, man.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
You're a fan of this movie too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling you Dylan. I don't.
Dylan. Yeah, I'm
calling you
Dylan.
But you're a big fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you remember how old you were when you first saw this?
Ah, man, I don't know. It's one of those, dude. All horror franchises I have the same story with. It's like, I had the sequels on DVD, but I never had the originals. So Halloween, I had the sequels. Friday the 13th, I had the sequels. This one, I had a box set that was Child's Play 2, 3, and Bride of Chucky.
I think
So-
that's because there was a little period of time where there was like box sets that only had
Yeah.
2 going onward, just because there was like a rights issue.
That's definitely made sense. That was weird. So like I can't remember the first time I watched Child's Play 1, but Child's Play 2 was always kind of Child's Play 1 to me, and then, you know what I mean? So I don't know, probably like, I mean, I had to have been at least like his age, like
Yeah.
10 or 11, you know what I mean? 11 or 12 years old, but yeah, no, love it.
How about you? Do you remember the first time you watched it, EJ?
Yeah, I was a kid and it was on TV like all the time. Like all the time. So I would watch it every single time and loved it every single moment. And I don't know. There's something about it. The story, but I think like it's crazy because Chicago takes place in Chicago, and Chicago feels like a character in the movie
Oh, it
itself.
absolutely is.
And just like him traveling on the subway by himself, not subway, but the train by himself to go to like the slums and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is so cool.
You feel like the environments in this movie.
Yeah.
Like even like in my notes I had it written down that even just that apartment,
The apartment building
it
itself
feels lived
is
in.
the Brewster Apartments.
Yeah,
as
which
it's
is
called.
hilarious. I also have that in my notes too.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom Holland. We know what you're doing.
Sneaking it in. But it's just crazy to me because I feel like that apartment building was such a great setting, and I love the elevator. I feel like the use of that caged in elevator adds like so much to it, like throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So
It also has one of the greatest laugh moments in a horror movie. Ugly doll. Fuck you. It's so good.
yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Like I saw this movie for the first time. I'm fairly certain I was about 9 years old at this point.
Okay.
But like Chucky was already kind of like a legend by the time that I saw it. And what's funny is that like the movie really wasn't all that old the first time I saw it, but it was already this thing. It's like you have to see Child's Play because Chucky's like so scary and he's a badass. So I was like really like apprehensive the first time I was watching it.
Yeah.
Caitlin, my sister, absolutely was terrified of this movie. I don't know if she ever told you that
Yeah,
story or
yeah,
not,
she
but
has.
she had like this nightmare before we even saw the movie that Chucky had like apparently murdered me or something. So she's like white knuckling it the entire time. But I just remember being very like I don't know, I was experiencing something like watching it for the first time, and just immediately fell in love with it. Because I think even like as a kid, it's like I didn't understand, like obviously like a 9-year-old doesn't understand all the little intricate things about filmmaking, but there was something kind of going off in my head. I'm like, this is exciting because this feels like something special, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
And like
absolutely.
learning about it years later, to all the little behind the scenes things and how they actually pulled this movie off, you're just like, what a remarkable feat.
yeah.
You know?
Producer David Kirchner.
Yeah.
Right. One of the writers was Don Mancini, who actually is like the sole creator.
Yeah, man.
Of Child's Play.
All the way down the line. He loves this
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah, and then
I do
Tom
too.
Holland as he has a writing credit for the film
director.
Yeah.
and director, really put like his own kind of stamp on it. Too.
I'd argue that without Tom Holland, we wouldn't be talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Because like apparently that whole like voodoo subplot that
It's-
wasn't in the original draft.
And that's like one of the best aspects of this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like when we get to later on in the story, I
Yeah.
feel like when we get to Charles Lee Ray's like apartment, and then you meet that associate,
John.
yeah, John, who's awesome,
Yeah.
and
Great character.
yeah, it's just like to me, I don't know, like again, the settings in this movie just felt so authentic and real. Like both apartments, even Eddie Caputo's apartment with
With the rats.
with the rats and stuff. And,
Yeah, let's give some shout outs to those rat
Yeah.
performers.
and even like the hospital Andy's in. There's just something about the just picking all the right settings, and it felt like the worst areas of Chicago. I don't know. It was like
You could
so
feel that
interesting.
movie. That's the funny
Yeah.
thing. Like you feel how cold that movie is when you're watching it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really special. But Tom Holland, because you already talked a little bit about him, but yeah, 100%. Like I would say probably saved a pretty good script and made it something neat. Because I don't know if
Absolutely.
stop me if I'm wrong. He's the one who added in the Charles Lee Ray character.
Yes, I think it was like he. So yeah,
I
he
said I
added
asked you
into,
this,
like,
but I knew
voodoo.
the answer.
Yeah, you
I
did.
was trying to be like on a podcast. I'm like, stop me if I'm wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong here.
So no, it's really interesting. He
You're
added
wrong.
like the
Oh, sorry.
voodoo aspects of it, and I feel like that's one of the strongest things about this movie. And I mean, we didn't even talk about Brad Dourif as
Oh my God! What?
So good.
so good. He plays Chucky, the murder doll, right? But also
The doll?
the doll, and,
The
but he
doll.
also plays Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, who is forever imprinted in my mind as like, oh, that's what a serial killer would look like.
Yeah, he's got a
Right.
great, he's got a great look for a serial killer.
Yeah.
A Gemini killer, if you will.
Yeah, he really is such a cool, great casting, by the way. And I watched this Living with Chucky documentary before doing this movie.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this movie out, and then I found this documentary, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to watch this because I heard about it.
From me on an episode.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and it was amazing, and I feel like I learned like so much. And one of the things is Don Mancini, he talks about how he like had Brad Dourif as a college professor, oddly enough, teaching acting, and then years later he sells the script, and he had no idea Brad Dourif was gonna be cast as like the voice of Chucky and like the doll and Charles Lee Ray and stuff. So he was like, oh, what a weird coincidence. And now years later he's like best friends with Fiona Dourif and the family, of course.
The wonderful Fiona Dourif.
Yes, who is not in this, but
She was on the set though.
she was on the set.
And then she cried.
Of course.
She heard her father screaming because he was supposed to be on fire.
Yeah.
Why would that upset a child? I don't know.
But all right, let's get into this movie. Let's start talking about it. So this film starts off where the police are chasing in and closing in on the Lakeshore Strangler, Charles Lee Ray. And we see police officer Mike Norris, played by the great Chris Sarandon.
Again, now you have a scene that has Brad Dourif and Chris Sarandon.
And here's the thing, I don't know if a lot of people realize this. In the 70s, these two actors were both nominated for Best Supporting Roles. And so Brad Dourif for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
yeah.
and then Chris Sarandon for A Dog Day Afternoon. So
If you haven't seen either of those movies, by the way, turn this podcast off.
And it's literally two
Go watch them.
of the best performances in a film during the 70s. Like Billy Bibbit is such a great character. And then same with like Sonny. It wasn't Sonny. What was the character's name? And
Chris Sarandon.
Chris Sarandon.
Yeah.
But his character in that is just, he has one scene and he steals the movie, basically.
Yeah.
So they have these two powerhouse actors alongside Catherine Hicks, who is just incredible.
Now I know
in her
you
own
know
right.
her from something. What is it?
And it would be that would be Star Trek for the Voyage Home.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
That's the one I got you the poster for, right? The
Yes.
original
Oh my
poster.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it was always, it's still to this day my favorite Star Trek film.
You guys like Star Trek? Are you guys watching that stuff?
No, I've never seen one. I think
No?
I seen like the J.J. Abrams reboot long time ago.
So you've never
Yeah.
seen Star Trek?
Nah, never.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
What?
Nah, dude. Something we got to get around to watching though.
Yeah.
The original
it's really
franchise, like the original series,
good. It's
is
outstanding.
yeah, it's
Like the
really
show,
good.
like the TV show.
Yeah. I remember there was like because you're the one who told me to watch Star Trek.
Yes.
I had never seen a single Star Trek
Yeah.
episode. Again, I was like, I saw the J.J. Abrams movies, and I remember you were like going on about it for like a couple weeks, and I'm like, why the fuck does he keep talking to me about Star Trek? He knows I've never seen it.
Who loves Star Trek?
And then I remember you showed up with a season. You're like, no, seriously, you're like a drug pusher.
I am a pusher.
Yeah, you were just like, take this. First one's free. And I just remember I went home and I'm like, oh, fine, I'll watch the first episode and just blew through the whole thing really fast. And then I was like, wait, should I watch the next season? Kept going. And it's wonderful. It's
so
very
good.
ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time.
But we're not
going to
talk about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
66.
That's nuts.
And it was really tackling a lot of crazy issues during that time that even is like relative to today.
Yeah.
As well.
And for all of you out there wondering what the hell this has to do with anything, Catherine Hicks was in the one with the whales.
The whale one.
Yeah, that's that one.
So, anyways,
Your uncle loves it.
Chris Sarandon, played by Chris Sarandon, the actor, playing Mike Norris, detective.
Wish you said I got Chris Sarandon, played by Chris Sarandon.
So he's chasing down Charles Lee Ray, and they get to a toy store, and Charles gets mortally wounded and decides to put his soul into a good guy doll.
I gotta find something.
Yeah. Gotta find something.
And this is the doll itself was based on the popular 80s doll My Buddy, and originally the script was supposed to be called Blood Buddy.
Yeah, Blood Buddy, I believe.
Yeah. But of course they didn't. My buddy was like, "No, we're not signing off the rights for this."
Hear us out. You know this doll that you're marketing to children? What if it gave them nightmares?
No.
What if they never slept again?
30
And that's
years
on you.
later, dang it.
So they switched it around to Good Guy Doll for the movie. So we see where Charles Lee Ray, he performs a little voodoo and puts his soul into the doll. And
The doll?
and that
No.
toy store gets destroyed. And like the property damage, I was like, is it worth it? Like, Norris, like, was that worth it?
Yeah. You know, it's funny, like, when I was watching it the other night, when the lightning comes
Yeah.
into the store, if I was Mike Norris, I would never feel safe again.
I was
that would probably mess me up a little
like,
bit.
how does Mike Norris explain this situation? I heard the perp yell some, voodoo andale dumbele something, and then
me
the
the
skull
power I
blew
beg
up.
of
I
you.
think it was lightning. The chief's like, all right, put that in the report.
Mike, could you just leave out, like, most of that? You shot him.
He shot him.
And I'll give you free therapy lessons.
But like the property damage, like that toy store was just destroyed. Do you imagine like the owner
coming in the next day.
Like, we caught the Lakeshore like strangler. He had nothing to do with me.
I didn't take out that insurance policy.
To quote Spider-Man, what about my money?
I missed the part where
I missed the part where that's my problem. He just walks out like a dick. No, it's funny too. When Charles is doing the incantation,
Yeah.
he's putting his hand on the doll and his hands are just bloody. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, why is none of that blood on the doll?
Yeah.
You know?
Like dried up blood.
Yeah.
I mean, they found that on the doll.
Dembala.
Give me the power right back of you.
So Mike Norris finds a very dead Charles Lee Ray laying on the ground, and the next day,
It'd be really funny if the owner of the store did come in.
he's
It's like, what happened? Oh, I shot a man over there.
I shot him in. What about all this other shit?
Thanks.
It looks like lightning came in here because it did.
You destroyed all my merchandise. Now I'm going to be remembered as the store where a serial killer, bled out.
And that was on my good rug, and there was one rug in here.
I just got this place remodeled.
And that blood's not coming out. So the next day, across town, we meet 6-year-old Andy Barkley, and he's rocking his good guy gear.
The world's cutest kid actor.
Outstanding. And he's making his mom breakfast, and it's looking pretty terrible, actually. He got more cereal on the counter than in the bowl, and the toast is literally, like, burnt, like, black to a crisp.
He drops like a pound of butter on it.
Yeah, he puts a scoop of butter on it like it's ice cream. Or
It
something.
tastes more like butter than a toast.
Yeah. And Andy goes in to wake up his mother, and it turns out it's actually Andy's birthday, and he wants to open his gifts.
I made you breakfast in bed. It's like the line delivery is really funny.
Spot on.
And,
That's how Uber Eats was created.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's bummed because.
Because she threw it on the floor. She's like, I'm not eating this shit.
He's like,
I'll eat this later.
and then just throws it in the garbage.
He opens his gifts.
Stay in your
and
lane, kid.
all he got was clothes and not like a good guy doll.
That is the cruelest box.
Typical
Straight
Karen.
up.
Yeah.
It was wrapped in good guy wrapping.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's like pants in there.
Yeah.
she was like, oh wait, is there gonna be a Chucky doll? Oh, let me make this big box that's the same size of it just for jeans.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a really mean-spirited box.
Yeah. This kid wants a good guy doll, and he's like, "Can I open this first?" She's like, "What about the small presents?" And she's like, "Okay, go ahead." And he opens it, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Right? But I was like, so the small presents were like the better presents?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I
They were
don't
the
know.
accessories to go with the good guy he didn't have.
Like, cruelest birthday.
So like if he opens that in reverse,
ever.
Yeah.
yeah, like if he opens it in reverse, it's like leading up to something like.
Yeah, do you think like if he picked out the second one up first, should have been like, no, start with the other one.
Yeah, start with the small ones.
I gotta get you deflated.
It's some jeans.
He goes for the box, and then she's like, "Hold on, let me play a drum roll."
What if he like opened up the box and saw the pants and then she just took a picture of his face?
It's like,
You got punked.
That's rough,
the
man.
people in the audience can't see that, but he was like, Best picture ever.
That was for the shitty breakfast.
The breakfast, she just dumps it on the floor.
Typical
Going to
Karen.
work.
Typical Karen.
She's a Karen.
She's such a
Typical
Karen. Well, that's her name, Karen Barkley. So, played by Catherine Hicks. So, at work, we see Karen gets a heads up from her friend that a random guy in the alley is selling good guy dolls. So, she leaves work to go and buy the doll off of KK Gordon, the street peddler. Just kidding. It looks like one of our friends, like from afar. I was like, is that KK? But she buys this good guy doll.
Hey, wait, where does Karen work?
Oh, she works at like some kind of department
It's
store.
like a
called-
jewelry place. Or...
It's called Carson's. Hey, check out Adam Farley's song, Carson's song, wherever you listen to your music.
I didn't even know. I
Yeah,
was like, what?
I heard them
department?
say Carson's department store, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna work that in for us.
Nice. So she goes, and the street peddler is like $50, and she's like 10. And he's like 30. And she's like, okay, deal. I'm like, what an awful peddler.
Yeah.
However, the casting inspired.
Yeah,
That
he
guy
was
is incredible looking.
He's perfect. Like so
They
perfect.
bring you and your kid a lot of joy. he's like sticking his rotten teeth out at her.
Yeah. Excellent casting. So
I steal this.
Yeah. Steal this yourself.
so
I
she
think I dated that guy. What?
Oh yeah, no, I like when her friend's like, I think I dated that guy.
Yeah.
So when they return, her manager gives her a hard time, but her friend Maggie's like, "Don't worry, I'll help. I'll go watch Andy."
Wait, no. He was like, chill out.
Yeah, because he's.
Yeah.
So, I like when she's like, "That'll be the hottest date I had in a month." I can't imagine why. That guy, why so likable?
He's horrible.
Oh, he's so good.
yeah.
He's so rude.
So Karen rushes home and gives Andy his present, and Andy is super pumped because he got Chucky, the good guy doll.
What if it was just pants again?
It's just socks.
Shit, Mom, really?
Just takes another photo of him.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy that.
You know what I would have really liked if Andy like opened up the box and there's like a good guy in there and she's like, well, Mom, why is it covered with blood and smell like smoke?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Karen's like looking at the doll. There's all this like bloody fingerprints all over it. She's like, oh, Chucky needs to take a bath before he can play with him.
It's like a blood, like pentagram on the head. Who had time to draw this?
Mom, somebody wrote on the back of it, what's 666 mean? She's like, oh, that's just
That's I got you in other pants here. So Karen gives him this doll, and he's super pumped. Later that night, Andy asks his Aunt Maggie, which is
who is his babysitter?
the babysitter, if he could stay up late to watch the 9 o'clock news because Chucky kind of overhears the news about Eddie Caputo. They're like, oh, we have a lead on Eddie Caputo and all this stuff that happened. So Chucky wants to hear the news. But Maggie
Chucky
insists.
wants to watch the 9 o'clock
O'clock
news.
But Maggie insists they go to bed. And as she puts the dishes away, she hears the TV come on. But she assumes it's Andy.
Do you see that cool ass split diopter shot they did?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
Because we did that in The Burden of Beauty.
Yeah, where it's
with
like.
Melina and Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every time I see those shots, I love it because it's like it's very De Palma.
Yes.
Brian De Palma, you know.
And I love we just for fun, that day when we were shooting, you had them do the whole dialogue between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Okay, so this is just for the audience. When there's a shot where I needed to convey the correct emotional response, I needed to have our lead actress in the foreground of the frame, and then our lead actor in the background of the frame. But the problem is that the distance that they had, you can really only focus on the one person.
Yeah.
So we had to do something that was sort of like akin to like a split diopter, but just sort of like a cheap version.
Yeah.
But just to get them both in the frame, you had to kind of marry two shots together, and it looked really cool. But the way I had to explain this shot to everybody is like, you know, in episode 3, when like Anakin's in the foreground of the frame and Obi-Wan's behind him and they're just sort of shouting at each other. I'm like, I just want that. So we get the shot set up, and then I made them read the lines from episode 3, and neither one of them had ever seen the movie, the actors. So we made them watch it, and poor Melina seems so perplexed.
Yeah, she's like, why am I doing this?
Why are you making me do that?
Yeah.
But I loved Chris's reaction to
Did we
it, because he
both
was just laughing hysterically. He's like,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
It's so
Chris
good,
Alou,
though.
you should check him out on our Babadook episode where you can hear his song Revelation.
Revelation.
Exclusive to
It's really good.
prequels.
But no, that was such a fun day. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was the whole like, I can't think of the lines right now. But yeah, anyways,
Wait, which one?
for the
In episode
dialogue
3?
that what
Oh,
was
that-
it? It was like the Republic.
Your new empire.
Your new empire. Yeah. So later that night, Andy is put to bed by Maggie, and she's like, "Listen, I know you turned on the TV and it's not funny." So she tucks Andy and Chucky into bed.
Oh, before we get to that part, I really like the cool one take. Like
Oh, yeah.
Maggie going into the living room, right into the bathroom, into Andy's bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just like a small little thing, but like it made me feel happy.
It's effective because it lays out
The apartment.
the apartment, and so it adds that extra suspense later on when she is looking for Chucky and stuff, because you have the layout of the apartment. You know what I mean?
And I love how homey it feels, the
Yeah.
apartment. Because like I if I'm remembering this correctly, if I'm not remembering this correctly, please let me know. And the remake that they did,
Yeah.
the apartment kind of looked grimy and gross, like it looked like apartment in a horror movie. So I don't know what it is. It's a lame in the
Yeah.
remake, but in this one, I'm just like, it just feels like where you live. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
I
It's
don't
one
know.
of the nicer places in this whole movie.
Yeah.
It's actually, which is, I think, plays into the terror of it.
Yeah.
Because the first time someone really is, like, killed by Chucky, the murder doll, it's in the place that looks the nicest that we've seen so
Yeah.
far.
And also, there's like little things in the apartment that make it feel like a real place. Like there is like a photo, I believe it's Andy's dad.
Yeah.
So like there's the thing where they don't draw too much attention to it, but there's just like two identical photos.
Right. It's like this older guy,
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
don't know, it's-
It looks like what was his McDonald Carey from Days of Our Lives?
Yeah.
I don't know why I picked him. And then also I was really fascinated by Karen's desk.
Yeah.
I think Karen, prior to the father dying, may have been like an artist or like aspiring architect or something.
I think she was. I also think so too. I think because she has like pictures of like theater stuff, like
Yeah.
and it's like local theater or community theater stuff. So I think she was definitely. I don't know if she like designed the posters or she did something.
She was some kind of an
related
artist, though.
into that.
But
yeah.
but again, like there's something really relatable and nice about a person who's just kind of like, okay, so this life threw me a curveball and my husband passed away. So now you see her working in this like crummy department store, just trying to make ends meet, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just makes you really like root for her. Like you see like her dreams in the background of the frame.
Yes.
You
yeah.
know, I also, by the way, I know we already breezed past it, but Catherine Hicks is so wonderful in this movie because like when he's
So
opening
good.
that present and she
Yeah.
knows what's in there and she's like watching his excitement build.
Yeah.
Smiling.
Yeah, like it's like a mom watching their kid like open up a Sega Genesis or something. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so excited for you to be
pants.
happy.
Yep.
You know, it's like money's been tight all year, but I'm gonna watch you have like one of those great childhood moments. And she like sells it, and their relationship
does.
is so beautifully put together. You know,
'Cause
Yeah.
like
it's
I
just
believe they're like mother and son.
Yeah. I that's the thing about this movie, is so well crafted.
Yeah.
Like in every aspect. of the film.
And it's a shame that Tom Holland isn't mentioned in the same breath as like a John Carpenter, Wes Craven, George Romero, because I think he belongs on that like Mount Rushmore of great.
I know.
Horror
And not
filmmakers.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it
He
wasn't?
actually made Chucky. Yes, he did.
Dude, you used to go to like IMDb or whatever, and you would look at Child's Play. Really, you remember that? And the director.
Yeah.
And dude, it would be a picture of Tom Holland from Spider-Man
Yeah.
as the director of Child's Play. Like that, like they messed it up.
That's
or
who
whatever.
Zendaya's
Like-
dating?
Yeah.
He's like 90 years old.
Yeah.
What the hell? He
Man,
wrote
they-
Psycho 2? That Tom Holland is
Yeah.
sure
That
talented.
de-aging technology is great.
He's like, he's Spider-Man, but he has like canes. It's Spider-Man.
It's like, save me, Spider-Man. Maybe later. Gotta catch my breath.
Yeah. I missed the part where that's my problem. When he gets older, he definitely uses that. So later that night, Maggie's chilling. She's reading her book, and then she hears something. So she thinks it's Andy again, and she's going around. She's checking it out, and that's when she finds sugar spilled all over the floor. And so she starts cleaning it up. When suddenly,
Hope she starts snorting it.
oh my gosh, yeah, that's where Karen keeps it.
Oh, yeah, Karen.
Karen.
Oh yeah.
So she starts to clean it up when suddenly she gets a hammer to the face, slips, pulls all the stuff off the table, and falls out the window and falls to her death, crashing on top of a car.
Iconic image.
It's iconic. I feel like that death is like one of the most iconic horror deaths of the 80s. It's
For
so
sure.
good. Especially that fall. Like, I give credit to the stunt person. I don't
They
know
only
who
got
did
one
that
take
stunt.
out of her.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Whoever did that stunt is like props to them because that's a real building and they probably
Yeah.
had a thing down there to catch her, but like
We
oh
hope.
my god,
We
we
hope.
hope. Yeah.
I also, Maggie begins my favorite thing about this entire franchise.
Yeah.
When people die looking horribly confused.
Oh yeah, she's
Because they're all just
"What?"
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What if it like showed the dead body, like the mom, like she's like,
Because you have to imagine what she was seeing.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like right before she died, she's just like, huh?
he's like,
what?
it's like,
I would have loved it if Chucky was like, listen, I did the hammer, right? But she's the fucking one that wrecked the kitchen table before she fell. And she literally was like, knocking everything over.
that part wasn't my fault.
That is
Hit
not
everything.
me. Okay? The hammer, I was like, that's it. I'm done. But she's the one that fucking hit and broke your window.
Jump out the window.
Yeah. She was like real dramatic about it. So Karen gets home and finds the police are there and the news about Maggie. And Karen then meets Detective Norris, who asks her like a few questions about the small footprints left behind. And she gets defensive when Norris is suggesting, hey, maybe it was Andy, right? And she's like, are you kidding me? He's just a little boy. And then Andy notices, he's in the bedroom, and he notices the powder on Chucky's shoes.
And then he starts snorting it off his.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me just get a bump off of this.
Chucky's alright.
You're not a bad guy, Chuck. Thanks for that booger sugar. So he runs out to tell his mom and Detective Norris, and I love that he's like, Chucky has powder on his shoes. And then Detective Norris's best line,
You doll?
"You doll?"
He's like, I know who pushed him at, or
Yeah.
I was like, I know who was on the counter. Who, Andy? Who? Chucky. You doll?
"You doll?"
You doll? that is probably my favorite line in the entire franchise, and I don't know why.
"You
The doll?
So the mom ushers him back to bed and kicks Norris out. Norris then is going to his partner and he's like, hey, Joey Fatone, get info on the Barclays and get this toy hammer into evidence because they found like blood on the toy hammer.
He's like, this?
yeah,
You kidding me?
you're kidding me.
me.
And then this is when we see the elevator and what a cool set.
Yeah.
To have like that kind of elevator. I think it's the real building itself, but what an awesome building. What an
What a
awesome
find.
get. Yeah, it really is.
If it was just like a typical elevator, it doesn't have that same like. There's something. There's
Oh.
almost like a gothic kind of thing to it.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah, I love it. So Karen chats with Andy, and Andy says, Chucky said Aunt Maggie's a bitch, and she got what she deserved. And Karen tells Andy to stop
She's like,
making
I
up
know,
stories.
You're right.
You're right.
You know, she told me she was going on a date with you before she left the apartment store. That was weird.
She's a
What
weirdo.
the?
Yeah, that's a weird line.
Oh, there's a weirder line later on talking about dates. She's like, stop making up stories and saying that Chucky did it. And so Andy's like, okay, whatever.
Now here's another box for you to open up.
Yeah, there's another box.
More pans.
So the next
I'm not
day,
falling for this anymore, Mom.
Yeah.
the next day, Karen takes Andy to school, and Andy has Chucky with him.
Oh wait, really funny in my notes. When Andy's like when Karen's yelling at Andy, she's like, you know, you're just making this up, and she's like, I know it's because of what happened to Aunt Maggie that you're yelling at me right now, and she's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, Andy like figured out how to gaslight
I
his
know.
mom.
Smart.
He really did.
Yeah.
He's like, I know that's why you're really upset.
She's like, okay, you're right.
You're right.
He's
You're right."
manipulating his mom.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next day, Karen takes Andy to school, and Andy has Chucky with him. And as soon as she leaves, Andy ducks out of school, hops on the train, and heads over to Eddie Caputo's place. And then Chucky ditches Andy, because Andy's like, stay right there, Chucky, I got a tinkle. So he goes off, and then we see
You and
where-
me both. And then show them two standing next to each other.
Yeah. That would have been great.
Like a urinal.
Yeah, me too, kid. Chucky runs over into Eddie Caputo's apartment, and he kills Eddie Caputo via explosion. And that's another one where, you know, he pretty much gaslights Eddie Caputo. Literally
But
gaslights.
I did see a deleted scene where those mice got out safely.
Yeah.
The
and-
rats.
yeah. They were like, whoa.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
That doll's moving around on its own.
I don't like that. So Karen shows up at the police station and finds out the police are questioning Andy without a lawyer, mind you. They're like, so tell us about how'd you get over to Eddie Caputo's? I took a train, and he just like is saying everything. And I'm like, shouldn't he have a lawyer? Even he's like underage, and they're like, literally, they have like the tape recording going, and they're
Yeah, he's
like
just a
questioning
child.
him.
They're shaking them.
And I'm like, shouldn't his parents be there, or like a guardian?
Hey,
Legally.
on the topic of Eddie Caputo, who later on is retconned out of the whole thing,
Yeah.
of the whole franchise. I was looking at Eddie, and I'm fairly certain I had some teachers when I was in like 6th, 7th grade who probably thought I was going to look like Eddie Caputo and live like Eddie Caputo. You know, they're like, that kid's not going to turn out well, and they're right.
He's a real Caputo.
Just like him.
So, Karen then tells Andy, no one believes you about Chucky, and if you keep saying this, they're going to take you away. So Andy begs Chucky to say something, and he gets upset, and that's when Dr. Ardmore steps in and suggests...
Dr. Larry King.
Yeah, Dr. Larry King. Hey, Andy. So,
Chucky said something.
and that Andy go along with him for a few days. So Karen returns home with the doll, and then finds the batteries that should be in the doll, but
Batteries
they are
included.
not.
What a great reveal.
This is one of the best scenes. in
Yeah,
the
this
movie.
is like one of my favorite parts, other than the ending.
Did you guys check your toys after you seen this movie as kids? Because I definitely did.
Did
I-
you?
yeah, I did too.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah.
I hoped. I was like, please, just like don't have.
Don't be in there,
batteries.
yeah, dude. Always disappointed. Yep.
I want a killer doll.
Please be sentient. So she checks his back and finds out he doesn't have any batteries in. at all.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
And she gets spooked the hell out when he just starts talking on its own. And
He
that's,
breaks his
It
neck.
like Reagan McNeil's it.
yeah, it's so
It just
good.
kind of spins around.
Yeah, it like spins backwards, and then she drops the doll. And I love his little roll.
Me too. I was
under-
thinking about that when I was watching it. I'm like, oh, that was cool. Did he
Yeah.
do that, or was that just
Yeah, I just love how he just like drops down and like rolls under the couch.
It's so great.
For no reason.
Leading into just like a little bit more suspense that you can get out of that scene. Because that scene in general, it's really well paced.
Oh my god,
You
it's
know?
so good, and the reveal is just like so incredible.
Leading
And then
into
leading to the next reveal, where she gets the doll and she's like, "I'll throw you into the fireplace if you don't talk right now. Say something, say something." And that's when Chucky finally actually reveals himself
One of my favorite parts.
and starts attacking Karen, biting her arm. And I love he's like, you fucking bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And
stupid bitch,
you stupid
teach you to
bitch.
fuck with me.
I'll teach
That's
you to
the
with
first thing that you ever hear that doll say, and it is
Yeah.
just like, "Welcome to the world, Chucky."
Oh,
You know?
it's so good.
Dude, and you know it's really cool too, because this is one of those things. Like as you go down the franchise, I just appreciate it more and more and more. That voice coming out of that doll is
Yeah.
like a match made in, I guess, hell, technically.
Right.
But
Oh no,
heaven,
it's
whatever.
it's perfect.
It's just such a perfect voice to come out of that doll, and that I just couldn't
The
imagine
laugh,
anybody
like
else.
Chucky's laugh.
Yeah,
and,
like any other actor, and it doesn't work. It's Brad Dourif, man.
yeah, like the foresight, whoever, like the casting director / Tom Holland, getting him for this role is like, it's one of the best castings of all time. Same with like Robert Englund, right? Like they were just like made for this role,
Yeah.
and it's hard to imagine. I mean, no shade to Mark Hamill, who is like an incredible voice actor, especially for like Joker and stuff. But like, he just couldn't do Brad Dourif.
Well,
you know
that,
what I mean?
that was the thing. He understood that. Like
Yeah.
I read this interview with Mark Hamill where they were like, "Oh yeah, you should do the Chucky voice," and he's like, "I don't know, isn't that Brad's thing?" Because he
Yeah.
understood like that's a real specific performance, and they're like, "Yeah, well, you don't have to just do an imitation of it. You can do your own thing." And that movie, as far as remakes go, it's like not egregious or anything like that.
Right.
Like it's perfectly like average. And the take he has on the doll for what they were aiming for, it works. But Brad Dourif is like it is just like fire. Like it is so
Perfect.
cool.
He
Yeah.
has like the deep voice.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
perfect amount of scumbag in that. Tone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, we have where Chucky bites her arm and then runs out of the apartment,
The battle
and he
cry.
gets into the elevator, which is so cool because it like, you see the elevator descend, right? And it's all caged in, so it's not like you could just like reach in and grab him. So Karen literally is like trying to chase him all the way down, all like the stairs as the elevator descends.
Did you think it was cool in that scene when they're in the elevator, and he gets in the elevator and he's just standing next to Spider-Man? He's like, "Cool Spidey suit."
Yeah, rides a little. Yeah,
I love that scene in Spider-Man too.
me too.
Cool doll
House
suit.
Sparks.
Hey,
Wait.
also, when I met Catherine Hicks at a Monster Mania like a long
You
time
met her?
ago, I did. Her husband is a person that I want to meet more than anybody that I can think
Who is
of.
it?
His name is Kevin Yeager. He's a
Oh.
special effects artist. He's the person who created like the doll. He gave Freddy Krueger that real cool look in Nightmare 2. The Crypt Keeper, which is weird. I guess like the eyes from the Chucky doll are the same exact eyes that are used in the Crypt Keeper.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But he's this remarkable special effects artist who I just love. And they met on the set of that movie, and she told me that when he was applying the bite mark onto her arm, that
Yeah.
she was kind of like falling in love with him. And I'm like, that's the most romantic
Oh.
fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire
That's
life.
so cool.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm like, I love you in movies, but I'm like, I like really love your husband. She's
Yeah.
like, really? She was like so excited.
That's what like I didn't know this till just recently. Delia Dietz, Catherine O'Hara, met her husband on the first set of Beetlejuice. He was a set designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
That's
insane
awesome.
is that? Yeah. So, but no, Chucky, he gets out of the elevator, he escapes, and she runs out, and it's great because she's looking around, and now he's within the city somewhere, and it's such a great, like, desperate shot. She looks out, and she's looking both ways, like, everywhere. and he's just gone. It's
All
just
she has
like
to
a busy
do is
city.
just sit there and wait for someone to start screaming.
I know. I
Because
saw
he's
a running doll.
He would have to be just like running down the street.
I saw
Oh, what the
doll.
fuck?
Oh!
It's the ugliest kid I've ever seen in my whole life. So she goes to the station and tells Detective Norris that Chucky is real, and Andy's telling the truth, showing him the bite marks, but he actually doesn't believe her. So she runs off to find the guy she bought it from, and this is when she finds him in like the slums. She's going around.
Wait, when she's looking for him, she's like
Yeah.
talking to this like homeless lady.
Yeah.
And the way there's no dialogue, it's just
Right.
like music. But you see her describing the peddler, and she's just doing this thing with her teeth.
Yeah.
She's probably like, he's got real jacked teeth.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I know that guy.
Oh, that one.
I've seen him before.
She finally finds the peddler.
Can't forget a face like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She finally finds the guy, and he gets real creepy. He's like, how much money you got? And so she pulls out all the money she has. He's like, that's not enough. You know what is? And so he goes to like attack her, and that's when Norris shows up, luckily. And
You want to play too?
yeah.
Is that what
And he
said?
just like
Oh.
nails him, right? And that's when they find out where he got the doll, and it's the same toy store where Charles Lee Ray was shot and killed. And that's when we see Norris kind of gets spooked out by what he hears, how it's like tied to the same shop, and he starts to go, all right, and then he
Get
tells
out of here.
yeah, he starts to tell her about Charles Lee Ray, and she's like, it's him, it's got to be him. And then he's like, I don't know, like this is weird. It's just a really weird thing, because yeah, Eddie Caputo's dead, and then he threatened me, and now I don't know. And she's like, you're next, and so Detective Norris takes Karen home, and she's like, I'm telling you, Chucky's gonna target you next. But Norris is like, I'm not hearing it, whatever, so this doesn't make sense. So he drives off, stops to pick up Charles Lee Ray's file at the station, and that's when he gets attacked in the car by Chucky. And another great reveal, because it plays into
Oh my
Chucky
God, so
being
good.
a strangler. So he shows up behind him and starts strangling him. And
What's he say? He's like, good night, asshole.
yeah. And we see Detective Norris only breaks free from the cigarette light, like the burner, and he burns Chucky's face. And Norris pretty much causes all this property damage again, and crashing into multiple cars. And eventually his car flips, and that's when he's like upside down, and he's looking around for Chucky. And we get this great reveal with like the knife being stuck like next to his head, and as he's looking around, you just see like the hand reach in and grab the knife out of there,
And him like running.
and him running around.
He's just playing with his victim.
Yeah, and he's just yelling all this stuff, like talking trash.
You can't hurt me now.
Yeah, and that's when, as he runs to kill Mike Norris, Chucky shoots him, or Norris shoots him in the arm, and that's when Chucky just runs away.
I like how he like battle cries and stuff. He's like, "Roar!"
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
so good.
Let me ask the guest a question. So, in a sequence like that, like right from the beginning, when
Yeah.
Chucky's kind of coming up behind Norris in the car, when you're a kid, how does that make you feel?
Oh, horrible.
Because it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna get into a car and it makes you paranoid, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I usually sit in the back seat,
So you're the
'cause-
one strangling.
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
one coming up behind people.
But like even still, like when you get in the car by yourself, sometimes it's nighttime. You got to drive over, or you're driving back from here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You never really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to kind of look back, cause
Yeah.
There's like a thing in this movie that all the little set pieces. Tom Holland was so smart to just know exactly how much suspense to add into any given sequence.
Yeah.
Like he takes something where it could literally have just been him like strangling him and the car flipping over, but it's just the knife coming up through the seat and him trying to get away from it and stuff.
Yeah.
While
yeah.
driving a car.
Yeah, like, it's
Yeah.
such great filmmaking, and I really wish that they would like commit to stuff like that a little bit more with like
You'd
modern
like-
horror films.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
just because you're like excited and it's suspenseful,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's just everything is so perfectly executed in this movie.
It is. And what a great area to be like confined. It's like no escape.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, yeah,
And,
like 'cause-
like you're literally stuck in a
trapped.
car with this thing that's like trying to kill you, and you are literally operating a vehicle, and you know what I mean. Like, what a great.
Oh yeah.
sequence.
Also, like remember like when he was like trying to stab like under the seat like
Mhm.
to his butt. The scream he has when that happens, he's like ah. that
It's
that
so
made
good.
me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doll.
Yeah.
The doll.
So the next day, Karen goes to Charles Lee Ray's apartment, and the place is decked out in art. It's like Cabrini Green, Candyman type art. And I'm pretty sure I saw Elrond from Lord of the Rings on the mural, too.
It was
Did
him.
you see that?
Yeah, it did.
It looked like him.
It did.
He was like up there. Like I was like, is that Hugo Weaving? Detective Norris shows up and shares the file with Karen, and they get a lead that they should check out a guy who's an associate named John Bishop. And they look at the photo and they look up at the mural on the wall, and it looks like John Bishop is part of the mural itself.
Yeah.
What a cool character, by the way, John Bishop. So we cut over to John Bishop, who, sure enough, gets a visit from Chucky. And Chucky wants John's help to find out why he's feeling pain. He's like, I got this new body and I'm feeling pain. Why is that? So Bishop tells him it's because he becomes more human the more time he spends in that body. And he finds out that he needs to transfer his soul out of the doll into the first person or human he revealed himself to, which is 6-year-old Andy Barkley. And I love that he's like, hey John, I found your doll, right? And
He's like, how you want it? Broken leg?
yeah, so he kind of like tortures him, and then he gets the info he needs, and then this is a line that didn't really age well.
I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Uh-oh.
But
Charles.
you got a date with death.
And then Chucky kills John Bishop. And John Bishop, well, he like stabs the voodoo doll, which ends up kind of mortally wounding John Bishop. But whoever that actor is, I'm surprised they didn't like go to that well more a little bit.
Sure.
But I'm sure it's like the sequels are great. They didn't need to, but what a cool, interesting character. And it's great to he has like this cool lore, but they don't really go into
explore it. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what's kind of awesome, because they don't have to give you so much, like over explain that lore. They're like, he's into voodoo. He taught Chucky how to like transfer his body into something, right? Or transfer his soul, right? And
He
live-
gave like the character urgency.
right.
And like that's
Yeah.
what, some of the later sequels I noticed they dropped that. Like
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, you have a certain amount of time to get out of the body before you're just permanently stuck in there. They ditched that, and I don't think it was for the betterment of the franchise. I really
agree.
like that.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit of a shout out here to the effects team with that
Ah.
doll in that sequence.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this movie, as you all have, quite a number of times, and you're very used to just seeing Chucky move around. But what it must have took to just get the doll to like move and to express itself, and all the little facial expressions, more importantly,
Yeah.
the despair that you
Oh.
feel from him
Yeah.
when he's like, I gotta get out of this body like right now.
Yeah.
and like how like frightening he is, because the more human he becomes, the more his face starts to kind of look like Charles Lee Ray a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all just so subtle and perfect. And also, I know, like, as the movies went on, the technology got better, so they had Chucky moving around more, like, human-like, but I do prefer this movement from him, where it's like he's moving, obviously, like he's alive, but it's jerky, like it's a doll, so it's very
Yeah.
unsettling to watch.
There's
But that effects team, just,
oh,
like,
it's
why...
outstanding.
Oof, so good.
Especially that scene when he's like breaking the limbs of like John Bishop, and then he stabs the doll, and it just like his facial expressions, even in like when Karen's holding it, and he's like, you know, like doing all this stuff. wow, like way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's so good. So Norris and Karen get to John Bishop's, and he tells them that Chucky is after Andy, and the only way to stop him is destroying Chucky's almost human heart. So at the hospital, meanwhile, Andy spots Chucky and begs the doctor to let him out. And this is actually when Andy has like a really Alex Vincent, who plays Andy, has like an outstanding performance.
It hurts.
It's such a good scene.
Yeah.
So
Poor Andy.
He starts crying. He's like, Chucky's going to kill me. And I'm just like, wow, Alex Vincent, to be like 6-year-old to give that kind of performance.
What do you think they told him?
That's what I was thinking
That's
of that.
why I-
I was like,
Alex, your parents died in a car
yeah,
accident.
dude, it was definitely
Film 'em.
something about someone
Chucky's gonna kill me. Chucky breaks into Andy's room and luckily breaks out in time and using the old pillow person routine. And Andy runs off, and the Dr. Ardmore tries to sedate Andy, but Chucky comes in time and kills the doctor off via shock therapy. Meanwhile, Andy runs home, and he tries to barricade the door and hide. And this is when we see Chucky take the elevator up. And I love how he cusses out the old lady. Like, they're taking the elevator
Ugly
up.
doll.
Like, what an ugly doll.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. So Chucky, Chucky breaks in via the fireplace and knocks Andy out with a bat. And as Chucky starts the ritual, we see Karen and Detective Norris get there in time to stop it. But I love the like the building, right? The way it's like shot from that low angle,
yeah.
and you have like the clouds and the perfect like poster representation of like the finale. It's like so good because you have that first poster is legendary to me because I love how it's like the building and you have like a glimpse of like Chucky's eyes a little, but it's like the cloud over this building. So cool. I don't know. I love that.
And again, go back to making posters look like that.
Yeah.
Knock off this shit where it's just like the cast standing around with pouty faces.
I know. You know, and it's kind of
everything
Scream's fault.
green.
No,
It is Scream's fault.
it is.
I love Scream. It worked for Scream, but come on.
Yeah. But
Come on.
I just I miss like those Drew Struzan like
Jesus, I
posters,
know.
man.
I have the original Fright Night poster,
Yeah.
and it is just the coolest looking thing ever.
All those posters, like the original Star Wars trilogy, looks so good. Harry Potter, the first movie, did that. Like they went and I think it was Drew Struzan who did that. He did like the Goonies poster, but all those posters had like such great character and so much to it. Hook is another one, which is outstanding.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
You know what's a really terrific poster was Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
possibly
Yeah,
the
that was
coolest
really
thing I've ever
cool.
seen.
Yeah, with like the claws
Yeah,
out, and they're all
just-
like walking towards, you know.
It's like
All roads lead to
over
Freddy.
everything.
Yeah, such a great poster. Anyways, so they stop the ritual in time, and that's when we see Karen and Detective Norris. Karen traps Chucky in the fireplace and torches him. But the cool thing is, it's Andy. He's like, Andy, you're my friend
Yeah, it's
to
like,
the end.
Andy, no, please.
We're friends to the end. Remember?
And then he's like, this is the end, friend.
One of the coolest lines.
Yeah,
Burns him up.
nails it. So, but
Emotionally scarring Fiona Dora forever.
yeah. So Chucky, it turns out, isn't dead. Karen shoots him to bits. I love that when he's
Yeah.
like going and you
The
see
head
him
just
blow off the
pops
arm.
out.
Yeah, then his head, and then she shoots him a couple times in the chest.
Again, like the finale of this movie is like one of the greatest horror movie finales
Yeah.
ever.
For sure.
And it's great too because the second one also had a terrific finale.
One of the
Yeah.
best climaxes of all time.
Yeah,
I
but
really
I
think
love
so.
like the second one. Just like it's like very like actiony, very like T2.
Yeah.
This is like straight up. You're watching a horror movie.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just this unstoppable force.
I wish I could go back to the tone of this movie in all honesty, because Chucky's like so funny, but I like when Chucky's funny in a very like scary world.
Yeah.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Like, it makes him feel like he has more like power, like he's more of like a threat in the universe, you know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, I totally agree.
Well, here's your bag of money.
Thank you.
Oh wait, actually, we forgot to mention this. Like, remember when, like, she was the mom was trying to shoot Chucky, and it was like, "What's wrong? Jammed or gun?"
Oh yeah,
jammed?
gun jammed. Yeah, there's a weird
Yeah.
cut too, cause like within the audio, cause she's like, "What's wrong? Gun jam?" It's like real fast.
What's wrong? Gun jammed?
Yeah, it's like really, really quick.
So we find out after she shoots him a bunch and sort of stops him, that's when Detective Norris's partner gets there, and he makes a call to the
80s
Brewster
cop.
Apartments. 80s cop.
Whoa.
Love his mustache.
Yeah.
The
He's
cop
like,
mustache.
I really like Magnum PI. But Chucky pops up for one more attempt, and I love this because we see where he picks up the head. He's like, Chris Sarandon's like, don't touch anything, right? Don't touch
a
it.
single part of it.
Yeah. So the partner goes and he picks up the head. First he does like a little test
I
tap.
thought I told you not to touch it.
And he's like, and he taps it a couple times, and then he picks it up. He brings it in. He's like, "Yeah, look." And
This
then
is not alive.
out of the vent pops the rest of Chucky. He's like, "I'll fucking kill you!" And I love his little
Strangle
metal
him.
hand.
Yeah, like
He's like
the
strangle him.
Wolf, like the nails, sharp nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the little
That's
skeleton of
Yeah,
like
the
Chucky.
wiry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's so good.
So
The
good.
metal.
And so that's when they're like, shoot the heart, and that's when Detective Norris finally shoots him through the heart and kills and stops Chucky.
I like when Chucky's
so
trying
good.
to stand up with like the missing leg,
Yeah.
and that's what I look
Yeah,
like
the
when I'm
grab.
trying to stand up in the morning now.
Yeah.
It's just me every day.
Yeah, I'm like that's what I look
You
like.
have to grab a curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Chris Sarandon to show up and shoot me in the chest.
Put me down. Put me down, Chris.
But what a great shot! Like not like literally, but
It was a good shot.
where
It
the
was a
blood
good
just
shot.
like smears all over the wall.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time we see like Chucky's like blood
Mhm.
too.
Actual
And-
blood
yeah.
instead of stuffing.
Yeah, so it's really, really, really cool.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay, they found me.
They found-
We're gonna. This podcast will have to be cut short.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta get
I
out
gotta
of
go
here.
hide some things.
It's about time. But that is the conclusion of the movie.
Oh yeah. Also, it was like, "Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?"
Very unsettling.
Yeah. And I love the sound mix too of using Brad Dourif's voice at first,
It
going
goes
into the original doll.
Yeah, dude, it's so
Yeah.
so good. All the choices in this movie, man. Tom
Outstanding.
Holland, the horror community may not recognize you as a master, but we do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm sure you're
Definitely.
listening to this
Both
right now.
ones.
Get
Yeah,
your
I'm
feet
sure-
up.
I'm sure he is.
He
Both
just got his
Tom
feet up.
Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Tom Hollands.
Yeah.
It's like, Zendaya, come in here. So, what did you guys think of this movie?
Starting with Mr. Dylan or Shane, whatever you prefer.
Alright, dude. I love it. I love Child's Play. It's one of my favorite horror movies for sure. It like again, growing up watching it, awesome. But when like that was one of his first horror movies, so like it was like the best thing. He was obsessed
Yeah.
with it as a little kid, like kind of too obsessed with it, dude. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like 4 years old, sneaking off into his room just to watch that movie over and over and over and over, and then he'd walk in the room and he wouldn't be watching the movie. He'd skip right to the song at the end of it just to listen to the song over and over and
great
over.
score.
Yeah,
You know
dude.
what? We didn't even talk
Yep.
about the score. The ending song, the dun,
Yeah.
dun, is so good.
Yep.
It's so good. Such a great
Yeah.
score.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. I'm going to kill myself if I don't mention this. So, fun fact. Did you guys ever see Children of the Corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So, no?
No.
So, you know Isaac, actor John Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when Annie's watching that commercial for the Good Guy doll, there's like the guy in the suit that's like, hey, good guy, say 3 different sentences. That's John Franklin.
Shut up.
Right,
Are you
Oscar.
serious?
Yeah, John Franklin is America's sweetheart.
Yeah. I
He's
didn't
the
even know
nicest
that.
person if you meet him at one of those Monster Manias.
Yeah.
I never
He was
knew
at one
that.
recently, I
He
think.
was.
Right? Did you meet him?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he told a story during the Q&A
Okay.
about how like after 9/11, it affected him so deeply that he gave up acting so that he can go become a teacher because he wanted to help make the world a better place. And he was talking about how, periodically some of his like students would like reach out to him and talk about how like he helped change their life and stuff. And I'm like,
You're gonna cry.
yeah, just like he's a really wonderful person. But he's in Child's Play, everyone.
It's crazy how many teachers were once child actors, like Danny Lloyd from The Shining, and like just a bunch of them I think are. Imagine your teacher, you're in school or whatever, and your teacher's like Danny from The Shining, or like Isaac from Children of the Corn. That'd be the. No, you liar.
I know. Like, could you grade my paper and then put to your number one fan?
To your number one fan.
He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do the convention thing. That'll be $400.
$400.
No quote.
Yeah, no quote.
Leo, how'd you like the movie?
Selfie?
Oh man, I loved it so much.
You've been wanting to do this one for a little while.
Yeah, I really have. Other than Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, we were just like, man, we got to hack the schedule up and get Leo back in here to talk Child's Play with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a big fan of this movie?
Yeah, I love it. It's like it was one of my first horror movies and one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah. Is it like top 5 for you?
Oh yeah, definitely top 5.
Top 3?
Yeah.
Top 2?
Yeah.
You seem a little skeptical. But it's like in your top favorite ones.
Yeah, top favorite ones.
Yeah, I would say I love this movie. I think it's great. It still holds up. I think it's the strongest like first movie out of a lot of like horror movies that did become franchises.
Sure.
Because like I automatically would pick any sequel over the original Friday the 13th. And I think like even like I don't know, like other franchises, they start off like and then they just get like incredible.
Unless you're Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you did it right the first time and everything else has just been like a mixed bag.
Yeah. But what a strong like opening of a film.
Right out of the gate.
Right out of the franchise, and like I don't know. There's so much about this movie. Like you feel that environment, and I think that's what some movies miss sometimes is like not using your settings or environment.
Yeah.
The way effectively like this does.
And that's not like a one-time thing for Tom Holland, because I feel like a lot of his movies, even like Fright Night.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, you feel like you're in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's.
I love Fright Night.
Yeah, it's one of my top favorite movies of all time, Leo.
Same with like Psycho, like the house and hotel or motel.
Yeah, he managed to write a sequel to Psycho and actually have it turn out remarkably well.
So.
That's what I just don't understand why he didn't have like a bigger career.
Yes.
Because he's like he's like that unsung hero of the horror genre.
It's insane. Like he's so good, and this movie in particular is just such a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like there isn't anything you could like pick apart. Like the pacing's really well.
It flies.
Yeah, like it really gets into the story right away. Like it doesn't take too long to really. Like, oh, we have to set up these characters and set up this and set up this. So it really gets you, like, right into the story. And they set up everything perfectly within the first, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know, just, like, my quick little thoughts on it. It definitely is, like, even when I was watching it on Monday, I just was like, man, this is such a great film. I sometimes forget how great it is because it's just been in my life for so long. But I don't know what it was. It was like my mind must have just been super clear when I was watching it. I'm like, this is like amazing. And like just the pacing, as you were saying, and like all the performances, like the direction is just like one of the best directors in a horror film, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
He just, as we were saying, he was utilizing all the little elements and orchestrating them perfectly. And then, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just going to add, like, it's crazy to watch this, and then if you watch Candyman, because it feels like almost like a spiritual sequel or something, you know what I mean? That feels very, like, connected, even though it's not.
They have that same sort of thing to them.
I know it takes place both in Chicago, but, like, they feel like part of the same universe in a weird way.
There's two little things I'll add. For anybody at home, if you really want to see something neat, go look for any behind the scenes videos of this movie because like even like Karen's apartment, like underneath the floor are like all these puppeteers,
Yeah.
right? Like because that
Yeah.
apartment is like it's a set, and underneath it is just like a bunch of puppeteers making this doll seem like it's alive, and they just crushed it.
And Kevin Yeager, what a like genius! Did he design the actual red hair freckles thing?
I
Or
don't
was
know
that-
for certain that was his, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him credit because I'm a Kevin Yeager geek.
Okay.
And whatever it is, like whoever designed it, he brought it to life, and it
Yeah.
looks amazing. The only other thing I'm gonna say is so back in I think it was 2008, they released a DVD. It was a 20th anniversary DVD, and they recorded the Q&A from the Monster Mania that I was at.
Ooh.
Very first question that's on there,
Yeah.
you can hear my stupid voice ask the
Awesome.
cast a question. So I am part of the Child's Play legacy.
Yo.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What is
$40 to sign my poster.
Yeah, I will sign fair prices.
what was
here.
your question?
I said, Chris Sarandon, what are you doing after the show?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said,
The doll.
I'm not going to do this with you,
The
but then he
doll?
leaned in the mic. He's like, "Yo, dude,
Oh.
we're gonna hook up."
I wish he responded the doll.
That's so good. But anyway, but yeah, just an awesome film. Just,
Yeah.
one of the horror classics of classics. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good.
So with that being said, let's get into our emoji ratings.
Yeah.
Mr. Shane, would you like to start us off?
Emojis. Let's see. I don't have any ready yet, but we'll do.
I'll also need your phone because I forgot my phone.
All right. So how about I do a knife because
All right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, the knife in this movie is really good. They has like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Child's Play knife, like the red knife.
it's awesome.
Yeah, so cool.
All right. I'll do a.
Yeah, continue.
I'll do a baby because
Good.
yeah, why not? And then I'll do some. There's so many new emojis, man.
I know.
I'll do a bowl of cereal for Andy. And I'll
Oh,
keep it there.
that's
yeah.
good. I like
Yep.
it. All right.
All right, Leo. What are you thinking?
Love it.
All right.
All right. My turn. All right. Let me see. Let's see.
You want to look for a second? I'll throw something at you.
Okay.
Just while we're
All
waiting
right.
for
We
you.
got Rory up.
I got a box
Ooh.
because of all the cruel birthday presents
Because
that
of
Karen was giving her
Karen's
son.
box.
Want to rephrase that?
Karen's boxes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got some mice because there was like legit mice representation in
The
this
Caputo
film.
rats. The
Mhm.
Caputo
The
brothers.
Caputo rats. I got a hammer.
Oh, that's mine. That
Yeah.
was my
Guess
that's,
what? Guess who got there first?
bastard.
Yeah. And then there's actually an emoji of a toy store burning down.
Yeah.
People at home, I'm sure you're too busy to look into that to see if I'm lying, but I assure you I'm not. But then I also have a heart
Oh.
because I love this movie.
Yeah.
You know,
And Chucky, that's the way to kill him. It's
right
his
through the heart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How about you
All right.
stud?
See.
All right. Leo, do you have yours or no?
Just one more emoji I got.
Okay.
Let's see.
Jump in each.
All right. I'll do mine really quick. It's easy. I have a knife. I have a hammer. And I have an explosion for Eddie Caputo.
All right. I'm ready.
R.I.P. Eddie Caputo.
R.I.P.
All right. So I have a doll. I have a knife, pants, butter for the butter on the toast.
Yes.
I also have. Let me see. What else do I have? I have a fire for Eddie Caputo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a thumbs up because I really like this movie.
Heck yeah.
I have a blood stain, and then lastly I have a music note because the music in this movie was really good.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
man.
job, dude.
Yeah,
I like
Yep.
that. That's actually the best emojis.
I know. I was gonna
think
say
we've
you
ever-
did a better job than my half-assed ones.
It's like the best rendition of emojis I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. Mine are always like so like half-hearted. Yeah, they're just like they don't even say anything about the movie. I'm like, there's a bear in the movie, so I like that. Oh, here's some mice. Even when the mice aren't in the movie, I'm just sticking them in my emojis.
All right, well, let's get into plugs. Shane, or Dylan? Do you like Shane or Dylan?
Yeah, Shane, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, something, you know.
Yeah.
Plugs. What do I got to plug? Is anybody good at anything? Let's see.
No.
Three Jacks Burger Bar is always good.
Hell yeah.
What else we got? Frequels podcast, always great.
Thank
We'll
you.
do plug my boy John Cadwalder, tattoo apprentice at the Hive. He's crushing it. He's getting good.
Hell yeah.
What else? And then Leo for just being awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Father.
All right.
Thank you, Father.
All right.
You sound like Allison in the 2018 movie Halloween.
Yeah.
Grandmother.
Grandmother.
All
All right.
What
How
do you
about
got?
you, Leo?
All right. So the first plug I have is my dad, of course. He's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. And there's actually 2 plugs I have. So I forgot to add this in like the Friday the 13th Part 3 podcast. There's actually a new Five Nights at Freddy's game coming out.
Cool.
It's called Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. There's a Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 1. That's also really fun. But yeah, I got 2. I played it, got all the endings, got all the secrets, and it's really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're filming it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
You should go storm that set.
I guess they're filming in Canada.
Oh.
'Cause-
You're going to
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, let's go to Canada.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going.
Boys.
Taking a bus.
And
What
get-
about your? You're still making movies and stuff too, right?
Yeah, like stuffed animal YouTube videos.
Nice.
They're private for right now, but I might turn them to public soon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And one more plug.
Hey, don't ever be shy or embarrassed about anything that you make.
True.
Because
Yeah.
it literally, like, if I ever showed you my home movies from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
they're awful, right? I'm so grateful they exist because when you get to my age and you're about 107 years old, you're going to look back on that stuff and it's going to mean a lot to you. So just make sure you hold on to it.
Alright.
And we would love to see it.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's
Yeah,
gonna,
dude.
those movies are going to mark like the journey of your love of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Heck
so
yeah,
don't hide them from the world, sir.
All right. Also, one more plug I have is one of my favorite band, Blink 182. Did you ever hear of that?
I'm familiar with them.
If you didn't know, they just came out with a new deluxe album.
Cool.
Called One More Time Part 2. There's a Part 1 once again, but they have like more songs now, you know, because
Nice.
it's a deluxe.
Yeah.
And I listened to all of them. They were really good. I liked them a lot. So make sure to listen to them.
You know what? I have to ask, since Young Vince isn't here, what would be, because he's a music guy, what would be your like 5 bands that you like love or like
Alright.
music?
Okay. First, definitely Blink 182, because I just said that. Green Day. Did you
Yeah.
ever hear of them?
Yeah, I was just at the show.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like. Let me think. What else? I like My Chemical Romance.
Cool, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Really good. And let me think. What else is there? I like Sum 41.
Okay.
Nice.
Pretty
Nice.
good. And let me think of another one. There's a lot of bands.
Avril
I
Lavigne.
really like.
Yeah.
What song you learning right now?
I also like Paramore. I think that's
Oh,
what it's
cool.
called.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
That's
at
fine.
home who
Perfect.
don't know this, but apparently Leo's like a really solid guitar player right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For
'Cause
sure.
Your dad was telling me that you're like actually like really, really good.
Yeah.
And again, it'd be awesome to see you play one day.
Yeah.
You should one
Yeah.
time next time,
Bring
dude.
your guitar and just start shredding.
Yeah, dude. Next time you're on, come
Yeah.
play. Just do a song.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be
we'll
awesome.
like we'll mosh.
Just shred.
Yeah.
I'll airlift your dad.
Heck yeah,
Just be
dude.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Other than Three Jacks Burger Bar,
Yeah, man.
and Frequels podcast,
Heck yeah.
and that's it.
All
Yeah,
right.
dude.
All right. Rory?
I got some stuff. I got Raven View Productions.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
Be expecting some cool stuff with that coming up because getting into a brand new phase of my creative career.
Yeah.
Fourth Cut Reviews.
Hell yeah.
America.
Is produced by our keyboard warrior friend Chris Conforti. Check him
What a
out on
title.
YouTube and Facebook. I'm gonna make the stick. I don't care. I have NEPA Horror Fest coming up in October. Look that up, and I'm serious. It's like a real cool lineup of Nightmare on Elm Street actresses,
Yeah.
which is just awesome. Bob Keller, Jess Meone, always just putting together these like great shows. They're organizing these events, and I don't even know if I put my shoes on properly today. So kudos to them. Very in season, our buddy Will Perna. Crushing it with some of the best rock music that you're going to hear from a band that's not actually signed. Like the quality of their music sounds like they have like Bob Rock behind them. I don't know. I just picked a random producer. So yeah, look them up. They're great, and they're even better live. Gravy Diggers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Matt
Diggers.
Rinaldi's Pot Pie Business. We lost another 3 customers to botulism, but he's going to get that recipe down perfectly at some point. I have Real Chronicles, friend of the show, Dave Gonzalez's awesome podcast. I'm actually going to be on it for their horror episodes all throughout the month of September and October, so look for those every Sunday. You can hear me talk more about horror, so I can't imagine
Double the
why
horror.
you'd want to hear me talk any more than you already do. In fact, the fact that you're listening to this right now makes me think that you have like something wrong with you. And
You need therapy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend a second of my spare time with any of you listening right now. If I could express how much I don't like, and probably, actually, I would say I probably hate most of you, but that's, we don't have to talk about that. But what we do have to talk about, kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. Yeah, man, that's where it's at. Cat love. You know,
Yeah, man.
if you don't like cats, you know, I guess you're a dog person.
Or you suck.
Yeah, you
just
suck.
That's
You
really what it comes
suck.
down to.
Boo.
No, but seriously, go adopt some
Leave.
cats. I have 2, and literally they level me out. They're the best kind of companions you can have, and
Yeah.
you can adopt them. You can help them. You can supply food, supply some of your time to just make them feel special, because every one of them is special. EJ, hit me with some plugs.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We got 3 Burger Bar, 3 Jack's Burger Bar,
Burger bar.
Burger Bar Lane.
3 Burger Bar Lane. No, I want to plug Adam Farley Music on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Friend of the show. Also, Chris Alou's music you can find on Spotify and iTunes. New Metal Messiah Jon Snow.
Metal Messiah Jon Snow.
The ETC Collective.
Thank you for
can-
pausing for that.
Oh,
by the way.
I was waiting. I was like,
Yeah.
please do it. ETC Collective, you can find on Instagram and Facebook, and he's in 19 different bands, and you have to see him live. Like
You need to
have
see Jon
him.
Snow live.
It's like if I could do one thing before I die, it's go see Jon Snow live.
I went to that show that he did with Variant Season. Look up their music, Variant Season.
Yeah.
And I got to actually see Jon Snow go up on stage with Variant Season, and it was
Destroy.
awesome. Just
Right.
awesome. Yeah,
Just
it was
freaking
just like it
awesome.
was too much talent on one stage.
Yeah. And then also Mike Vinci has a thing called Shanty Hill Design. You'll be hearing more about that in another episode.
Ooh.
And then also check out Mike Vinci and Joe Petito and Justin's thing called NEPA Movie Mania. It's a movie group where they do like movie meetups locally, but also just give you like movie news and discuss movie, anything movies. Also, check out Frequel's Instagram, Facebook. Make sure to rate and review us on Applecast and Spotify. Give us 5 stars. And then just blow us up in the comments. Be
Yeah.
like, if you guys hate this podcast, you're like, I want to give it 1 star. Don't give it 1 star. Give it 5 stars. And then write a review. Go, I hate these guys so much. I just want to puke and vomit in their faces, and hopefully their mouths are open. And it'll be a good time. And then make sure to email us if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or you want want to just know some personal details about Rory's life.
Yeah. Or just a simple axe to grind.
Right. Email us at frequelpodcast@gmail.com. So if you guys have suggestions or questions, you want to throw out like, hey, why don't you guys ever tackle this movie? Or why don't you guys do this or that instead? Email us so we could just read it and laugh at you.
Yeah. And then we'll send you some feet pics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And almost forgot. Don't make sure to check out OnlyFins
And only pheromones.
and onlypheromones.com. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys, thank you so much for listening. And guys, Shane, Leo, thank you guys for coming back. Please come back anytime you want. It's great. I can't believe this is your third time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Fan favorite.
The fan
Yeah.
favorite, Leo. And then, of course, Shane, this is your fourth time.
Fourth
so you're
time,
coming
dude.
back for 5.
Yeah, 5 time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And next
hell
time
Five
will be
nights
my
at
fourth.
3 Jacks.
Yeah,
5
dude.
nights at 3, yeah.
yeah.
Dude, my boy here was so excited all summer long. Just frequels. We're gonna do frequels soon. Dude, he loves them more than anything. That's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
we
dude.
love having you guys.
Yeah,
on.
man.
Seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
We'd love to get Nina, too.
I'm trying to
I
get her,
threw
dude.
the
I'm trying to
invite.
get her. Yeah.
I threw the invite out of
Get the
Mike.
whole
We gotta
fam.
get a movie that she can't say no to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
her all-time favorites, and we'll
Yeah.
Okay.
hook her that way.
Yo,
Yeah,
send
dude.
us a list.
Yeah, I got you.
If it's one
Yeah.
that she kind of likes, she won't do it.
Nina, if you're listening, we're coming for you.
Oh, she'll listen.
coming
Yeah,
together.
Yeah,
yeah.
She will.
Yep.
She will listen to this.
Yeah,
But guys-
Leo will make sure it's. Yep.
Critiquing them.
But guys, work on getting her here.
All
And then
right.
also, seriously, thank you so much for doing the show. We
Oh, thank you.
appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
thank
Yeah.
you.
We love having you on.
Yeah.
I just love just talking movies with you in general.
Aw,
Yeah.
all the time.
We
So,
love being on, talking movies and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, thank you
An
guys.
old moment.
Yeah.
And guys, thank you for listening at home. We really appreciate it. Thank you for always coming in every week, listening to us. We love you guys. And thank you, Rory, for being an awesome co-host. Thank you, young Vince, who's not here.
Free
R.I.P.
Yep.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Vince.
R.I.P. No, but
RP is eyes.
thank you guys, everyone at home, and thanks really quick to Jess Maone, who designed our logo. I feel like
That's
we should
such a
always give
cool
credit.
logo, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So thank you, everyone, and with that being said, thank you for listening to
Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything?
He doesn't have pink eye.
perfect timing.